What's up, YouTube? I know I've been kind of inactive on here. I have been posting on TikTok and Instagram, which will be in the link of the description. So go follow me on there, see daily videos. But just to give you a quick update, I did end up blowing all those accounts I was posting about. Not gonna lie, guys, I got two ticked. So two trades got stopped out by a tick back to back, then ran to take profit. I had around 3-4 trades left to draw down, and I just lost it, guys. I mean, I low-key just lost my shit. I mean, you guys know probably better than anyone how annoying it is to not only lose, but lose to just literally one tick. It's the most hurtful feeling in the world, and I need to be better. So this is why I've been a lot more disciplined. I've been a lot more patient with my setups, a lot more meticulous. And this happens with trading, guys. There's going to be weeks where you don't get payouts, whatever it is. As long as those weeks where you get the payout cover all of it, which obviously for me it does. You guys can go check out the proof on my Instagram and TikTok. Gotten tons of payouts. I'm not blowing that much on evals, so I'm all good. But we are back with today's video where I'm going to show you the 3 trades I took to get max allocation on take profit in just 3 days. You can see the proof right here. This is my leader account. I got all 5 other accounts. So yeah, let's get right into it. So I did start these accounts on Monday, all 5 150Ks. So if you see right here, Monday, we open, we push up, then we kind of get this stagnant reaction where we kind of chop around a little bit. But I do notice we open this big fair value gap that it seemed to respect over here. So once we got a retest of it, we also created some SMT, which to me kind of looked like a soupish setup. I don't really trade turtle soup, so that's what it looked like to me. The SMT was really nice. And if you scale down to the 2-minute, there's absolutely no defense. So there's no 3-minute, 4-minute, 5-minute gap. So to me, that just shows that if we inverse this 2-minute, there's no reason we should go back up and nothing stopping us from going lower, especially considering that this 4-minute has been holding consistently. So I enter off the inverse, stop loss kind of over here in the 4-minute, just in case I wanted to retest the 4-minute, which it did. And you could see we ended up running down 2 risk to reward. And yeah, I was risking 2K a trade. So I got 4K on that trade. And it was an absolute banger beauty. And you could see literally how much it ended up running, kept dumping. So yeah, I mean, this trade really shows the power of the strategy, how I can hold a lot longer. And that's what I will be doing with these funded accounts is I'm going to be trying to go for 10K days consistently, risking 1K. If that's what I decide tomorrow when I load them up, I think that's what I'm going to do. So stay tuned for that. But let's jump into the second trade. This will be kind of a quicker recap just because honestly, there's not much that goes into these trades for me. I mean, I just like to see simply zero defense whenever I'm taking the inverse. So if I see no gaps, nothing protecting it, and obviously this fair value gap is being protected on the 4-minute, I'm just assuming there's no reason we should go higher. Like we obviously had high day over here. And if we hop onto the 1 hour, you can see all these fair value gaps, all this liquidity. We can't really seem to close above these highs, none of that. Like if you take a look at this, we can't close above this 1 hour high. So this to me, when I checked out the 1 hour and saw that, I was like, dude, this might be a sign that we're going lower, right? We didn't want to close above it. There was nothing strong. It looked like a liquidity sweep classic. So with that defending, I wanted to see us go lower. And obviously the fact that we were chopping, we were waiting for a big move. Whether it was up or down, I was willing to catch the downside. If we go over to Tuesday, we absolutely just shit the bed. So honestly, I just assumed we would continue to shit the bed. That's literally all I wanted was shorts just because of that, initial dump. And the trend is your friend, as I always like to believe. So I see right here, we have this 4-minute gap that absolutely closes perfectly, along with on the 1-minute, this nice SMT. Once I saw this, I'm like, all right, let me scale up or scale down, whatever time frame I was on, and see if there's a single fair value gap. And right here, there was a 3-minute inverse that I ended up taking, closes below on this candle, retest, entered on the retest, and then absolutely dumped. Once again, I'm risking $2,000 going for a $4,000 return so I could pass these accounts in 3 days. And the reason why I actually like this trade so much, it wasn't as good as the last one, is because this one was more with the trend. Even though the last one ran a lot more, I caught the top. This one to me is always going to be more higher probability because we were just dumping all morning. So assuming with that, I thought we would continue dumping. So when I saw that there was no other gaps right here, this 3-minute, I knew that it would just send us lower, right? So once again, could have held the trade a lot longer, could have gone 3R, 2R, whatever it is, but I took what I needed and I got 2 risk to reward. So there's not really much else to this trade. It is the exact same setup that I got yesterday, except it wasn't as much of a downtrend, or yesterday's wasn't as much of as a downtrend as today. But literally, you guys could see it was the same confluences, bouncing off of fair value gap, inverse, SMT. It's really that simple when you know where the market's going, and you just obviously put in the screen time and back test, right? That's all I did for for, you know, the past 6 months, back testing my strategy with inverses, you seeing how SMT and the trend kind of plays into it, making it a lot higher probability. And for the final trade that had to make me around like $850 to pass my account was actually this morning, where the day I'm posting this video. As you can see, off of market open, we were accumulating. We ended up manipulating up, going down. So I know a lot of people probably thought we were short, but based off of the 5-minute right here, we got this beautiful reaction along with taking out all of these lows, right? Once we got this big move back up, you could see that this 2-minute gap got absolutely invalidated, right? We also had this beautiful SMT. So just based off of this speed, this is not as, you know, as common as most of my trades, kind of because, you know, honestly, most days I would have a short bias after this, but just seeing this single candle at 946 on the 2-minute gave me the utter confidence to go long. It was so massive, giving such a great reaction off of all the liquidity and the 5-minute fair value gap with the SMT we have. I thought, okay, this 2-minute would have been cool, but it honestly was more for bias. But we perfectly closed above this 2-minute and there was no other gaps in the way. So to pass my account, I only needed 1-to-1 risk to reward. I entered right above the close, had a stop loss, kind of give it a good amount of breathing room, which obviously worked, and just needed a 1-to-1. So I took a little profit before the high. I mean, I took my profits a little bit before the high, but it ended up working perfectly. And as you guys can see, even when I get a bad fill, because usually, guys, I'll be honest, I'll get a fill. If the gap's this big, I'll get a fill right here. I'll get a way better risk to reward, but I didn't really need much to pass my account. You could still see that it ran an incredible amount. Even with that horrible fill, I could have gotten like a 6 risk to reward. So imagine how much more I could have if I was taking this trade normally, but I just wanted to pass my accounts, you know, with precision. Only needed 1 risk to reward. So there's no reason to try to get some snipe entry. Just needed to catch a decent bit of the move, right? So, I mean, as you guys can see, all my trades come down to speed, displacement, and invalidating fair value gaps. That's literally all my strategy is, alongside SMT. And yeah, just using gaps to predict where the market's going. Literally, I just use fair value gaps, and obviously an inverse is still a fair value gap with SMT. And yes, I do use, you know, other confluences like liquidity, looking at higher time frames. But on a day like the past 3 days, I didn't really need to. It was kind of clear to me just on the 2-minute chart, 1-minute chart, wherever I was at, where the market was going. And I mean, if you look at the 5-minute, this to me looks bullish. Once we close above this is the same candle that closed with the 2-minute, I think, or right after. It just looks super bullish. This does not look like we're going to go lower. It looks like it invalidated this complete move lower. So to me, that was clearly a sign that we were going to go up. So yeah, guys, I'm going to try to be a lot more active on YouTube. I want to give you guys more content. I've been bad about it, just, you know, mentally struggling with my trading last week because I blew my accounts. Honestly, I would like to blame the market because that's always, you know, what our instinct is, because I got stopped out by a couple of ticks, but I take full accountability that my stop losses should have been a tick bigger and I would have my accounts. I probably would have gotten, you know, a 5 to 10K payout by now, but that's life, guys. It's not always going to be, you know, an uptrend when you're trading. Just like in the markets, you retrace the fair value gaps. That's literally what your P&L in real time will look like in real life. So I hope you guys subscribe, enjoyed that video, and definitely stay tuned for the next week or two because I'm going to be trading max allocation on Topstep. So it should be interesting. Either going to get a really big payout or blow the accounts. Whichever one happens, I'll tell you guys, but I expect a big payout. There's no way I could blow these accounts because that's the mindset I'm going into. I need to get a payout and it needs to be 5 figures minimum. So stay tuned for that. And yeah, subscribe.